Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm your host, Ross World. Hey, good evening, Maddox. Anyone who else is in the chat, let me know. Today, I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice. Okay, this is a little bit of advice. It's not going to be before you long. This is going to give you a little bit of advice. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice, but I'm going to give you some quotes from some famous people. Some you may know, some you may not know. Hopefully you get something from this. Okay, let's start it off. The first quote I'm going to give you, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history about them so you know who they are and why this information is relevant, why these quotes may benefit you, and, essentially their background. Dennis Gartman, that's Dennis Gartman. Dennis Gartman began publishing the Gartman Letter in 1987. It is a daily commentary of global capital markets that is delivered to hedge funds, brokerage firms, mutual funds, and grain trading firms around the world each morning. Gartman is also an accomplished trader. He's an accomplished trader and a frequent guest on a financial network. And his quote is simply saying, be patient with winning trades. Be enormously impatient with losing trades. Remember, it is quite possible to make large sums trading and investing if we are right only 30% of the time, as long as our losses are small and our profits are large. Okay, that was Dennis Gartman. The next one, most of you know who this young man is. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is widely considered to be the most successful investor in history. Not only is he one of the richest men in the world, but he's also had the financial ear of numerous presidents and world leaders. When Buffett talks, world markets move based on his words. That's absolutely true. When he says he was going to sell Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola stock dropped tremendously. When he said that he was going to sell IBM, IBM stock price dropped tremendously. Warren Buffett says, it's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. I'm going to read that again. That was a good one. It's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. Next one, Bill Gross. Okay, Bill Gross. Bill Gross is a co-founder of PIMCO, and managed the PIMCO Total Return Fund, one of the largest bond funds in the world. Gross Rule speaks about portfolio management. Okay, that's what he talks about portfolio management. His quote says, do you really like particular stocks? Particular stocks like, I guess uncommon stocks is what he's trying to get to. Put 10% or so of your portfolio on it. Make the idea count. Good investment and ideas should not be diversified away into meaningless oblivion. If I took a gander at that, it's a mixture of a lot of things I get. And, we all get different meanings from quotes from different people. Do you like do I really like a particular stock? Like, do I like Apple, Google, Cisco Systems, IBM, Coca-Cola? Do I like particular? Say, put 10% or so of your portfolio on it. So if you like that stock, put 10% on it. That's what I'm getting from. I'll break this one down. Make the idea count. So betting on your idea or investing on your idea rather. Then it says good investment / ideas should not be diversified away into meaningless oblivion. I got it. So basically, if you like a particular stock, then invest on it. That's all he's saying. All right. Here we go. Prince. This is a Prince Awali Bental. I butchered his name. It's Prince. Alwaleed Ben Bin Tatal Tal. The Prince says you may have never. Oh, okay. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, an investor from Saudi Arabia. He founded the Kingdom Holding Company. Okay, that's the name of his holding company, the Kingdom Holding Company. If anybody had reason to panic, it is him. Prior to the Great Recession, he owned 14.9% stake in Citigroup at a price much higher than his post-recession price. In addition to this, his real estate investment in India lost considerable value after 2009. And here's the Prince quote: "We're getting hurt, but I'm a long-term investor." See, if I would have read this when I lost money in Citigroup, he lost money in Citigroup, but this was back in a Great Recession. If I would have read this quote back then, I wouldn't have sold my Citigroup. And if I would have wrote this quote before last year, I wouldn't have lost money in Tesla. When I mean I didn't lose money in Tesla, I didn't gain as much as I should, because I don't know, the last time I looked at Tesla was around in the high 800s. I bought Tesla at 200 and I sold it at $330. I had to take a uneducated pause because that's how stupid I was by selling our stock. Anyway, let's see. This name is Call I Can. I'm thinking that's how you pronounce it. Last name is ICAHN. He said he's a private equity investor and modern day corporate raider, buying large stakes in companies and attempting to get voting rights to increase shareholder value. Some of his holdings have included Time Warner, Yahoo, Clorox, and Blockbuster Video. He lost money on Blockbuster. And his quote is, "You learn in this business, if you want a friend, get a dog." Wow. Wow. I'm going to let y'all sit on that one. You learn in this business, if you want a friend, get a dog. Meaning there's no friends in this business. In the investment and financial world. That's what I tell you, surround yourself by smart people. All right, Carlos Sim. He says, another of the richest men in the world, Carlos Sim owns hundreds of companies and has an employee base of more than 250,000. His quote represents the mindset that the best investor possesses. This is what he says: "I am convinced that all this poverty in Mexico and in Latin America is happening in China is the opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity for investment." To piggyback off his quote, I'll just say that I invest in China and some of their companies. Now, I only lost roughly, out of the 10 companies I was investing in China, I lost maybe 2. I really lost quite a sum, but nevertheless, I didn't lose it. I've been gaining money. If I took my whole China portfolio, I've gained a considerable amount of money, which is great. Okay, so I didn't lose as much as I, should have. So those are those quotes. And since I'm talking about quotes, I'll give you one of my quotes. Okay. Let me see. You know what? I'll give them all to you. Why not? Right? It's interesting in the way my mind works. Let's see if you guys can decipher. Hey, McCoy. Good evening. But anyway, I'm gonna give you my quotes. Here's the first one: "I'd rather fail in peace than to succeed in hell." I'll read it again. "I'd rather fail in peace than to succeed in hell." I'll let you guys think about that one. Here's another one. "You don't love me for me. You love me for you." Some of y'all like, what in the... All right, 2 more. "I can stand still and still move faster than you." I'll read that one again. "I can stand still and still move faster than you." And last but not least, "Success dwells in uncertainty." Success dwells in uncertainty. All right, last but not least, here's my last bit of advice for today. This is coming from Investopedia. And a lot of people, really want to know this information about what is the difference between single withholding and married withholding, okay? So I'm going to just read a little blurb here that they have. It says, "Your typical safe claiming one allowance if you're single and have only one job. You're not prohibited from claiming 2, but this can be tricky. You may find that you owe the IRS money at the end of the year if these results in too little being withheld from your pay." So basically, you can claim single and claim yourself, but at the end of the year, if you claim one more person, they basically saying you're going to owe. You can split your allowance if you have more than one job. For example, you might claim one allowance on your W-4 for each of them, but you're also entitled to claim 2 with one employer and 0 from another employer, okay? Then it says down here with the married withholding. A married couple qualifies for a greater number of allowances, okay? I'm gonna read that again. That's the huge difference between you claiming single and you claiming married, but at a higher single rate or something of that matter, that sort of verbiage in there. But it says a married couple qualifies for a greater number of allowances. You have 2 right off the bat, 1 for you and your spouse, and if you have children, you can claim an allowance for each of them. Again, the more allowances you claim, the less will be withheld from your pay for your taxes, okay? So that means you get more money throughout the year. It can get tricky if only one spouse works. However, the IRS provides a withholding calculator to help you get it right. So I don't know if that was clear enough for you guys, but even if you're claiming married but held with at a higher single rate, there are some benefits to that. There are some allowances that a single person not going to have versus a person who is married but still kind of claiming single, because they're still claiming married, but they're not doing it jointly. Okay, they're doing it at a single rate, but the allowances is the key in this. And again, I'm no tax expert. I just like giving you guys little snippets and nuggets of information. What's up, West Coast Mafia? Information that way, when you go to H&R Block, you go to Jackson Hurwitz, you go to TurboTax, these are the questions you can ask. These are questions you can search. That way that you're putting the highest deductions, the highest exemptions, the highest allowances. That way you're getting more money back. Now, me personally, I claim, and this is how it looks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to write on my little sticky pad here. I don't know if you ever saw your, was it W-4? This is what I claim, single and 0. Okay, this is how it actually looks, single and 0. Now, some of you, if you're single, you probably claim this, single and 1, right? This is how it looks. I'm just showing you how it looks. Now, some of you may not know how it looks on your stuff. And married people, you can actually do this too. You can claim married and 0. Why would you claim married and 0 and not count your dependents, not count your husband or your wife? Why would you do that? Because when you don't claim yourself, when you don't claim your kids, they take a larger amount of your taxes, right? Here's the big argument about the way I like to do my taxes that I get with some of my friends who are financially literate. They say, hey man, why are you claiming single and 0 and the IRS is going to take a large portion of your money, and then you're going to claim single, and claim yourself, and then you're going to get a somewhat large return, if that. My thing is, it's a method that I use. So first and foremost, I don't pay taxes back. I've never, well, let me take that back. I paid taxes back when I was around 22, 23, because I changed my state tax from DC, which is not a state, but you pay state taxes, to Maryland, right? Because I moved to Maryland. I said, you know what? DC state tax is expensive. Let me switch my state taxes over to Maryland. Thinking I was going to be slick though, because the tax rate was low. But in Maryland, you pay a state tax and you pay a local tax. And I was only set up to pay state tax. I didn't even know about a local tax. So for 2 years straight, I think I owed the state of Maryland like $400 to $500. Okay. So I don't claim myself throughout the year. I claim myself at the end of the year when I'm filing my taxes, and I always get a return. Now with that return money, if I have debt, I pay it off, right? That's my first and foremost thing. If my emergency fund is not up to par, I put it inside my emergency fund. Or I just pay for a vacation. I usually take my tax money and I pay for a vacation. So why would a married couple, oh, let me get back on my story. I'm sorry. So my buddies would say, well, why don't you just claim yourself and use that money? Because if you're claiming yourself, you shouldn't have to owe taxes, because it's not like you're claiming single and two. You're just claiming single and yourself. And the money that you get extra, or not extra, but the money that the federal government owe you, you can just invest it. They're right. So let me just tell you that they're right. And a lot of people will claim themselves, so the federal government is not using their money to invest throughout the year and make money off their money and then give them pennies back. I told you, I'm a walking contradiction. I can be somewhat hypocritical, and I can be somewhat of a hypocrite. We all are, okay? We all are. Take a moment and think about things you have done and things you have said, whether it was 10 years ago or 10 days ago, and you will see that we all contradict ourselves and we're hypocritical. Then if you haven't, then you're an awesome person. I know I have. Now, if you say, well, what's the right thing to do for my money if I'm trying to invest more, etc., I would say, you know what? Claim yourself throughout the year, right? Just make sure you're filing your taxes correctly. Now, for me, it has worked for me to not claim myself, but to claim myself at the end of the year, because I know that Uncle Sam or Uncle Scam or Uncle Rob, robbery, you get what I'm getting at, right? Yeah, they rob you on your taxes. That's what I'm getting at. I know that he's going to get his money. I know that the country is going to get their money. So I don't worry about owing taxes. Now, because I have a lot of investments and things of that manner, if I had a lot of dividends, I had a lot of interest, you got to pay taxes on those things. But even with that, I still get a return. My lowest return was last year. I got $3,000. And I'm a single guy. Be like, wow, that's a lot of money. It's really not a lot of money when you paid triple the amount in taxes. Year before that, I got like $7,000. But when Trump's tax Jobs Act, Tax Act, whatever, kicked in, so did all the tax withholdings. It went down, $4,000? So literally 1 year I got $7,000. The next year I got $3,000 because of that act, because of the act that hit the middle class harder than it hit the high class and the rich. Now, if you're married, again, married in zero, you're not claiming you're not claiming your wife or your husband or your kids. Now, they're going to take a lot of taxes away. But let's just take, for instance, you're married in 10. This is how it looks. Married with 10 people, or married in 3. Okay? Married in 3. Now, granted, if you and your wife, now this is only for head of the household, because you're claiming all 3 people. Are you claiming you, your husband or your wife, and your kid? Now, of course, that number can go up or down, right? That number can go up or down. Now, if you're filing jointly, then that also is a different method that you have to go through one of the online interfaces that they have, whether it be TurboTax or H&R Block. Okay, I'm just trying to give you some simple advice that you guys can use so you understand how they construct the single and the married, and married at a higher single rate for your taxes. So hopefully those quotes opened up your mind and had you to start thinking. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not investing, I want to encourage you to go out and invest. So I'm gonna see if you guys have any comments, and then I'm gonna get out of here. All right. So we got McCoy in the house. We got West Coast Mafia, and we have Super Sly Fox. Okay. Tax info. Okay. Did you change your name, Super Fly Fox? I believe I saw your picture before. I don't know. But anyway, that is my segment for tonight. I know it wasn't that juicy, but I just want to give a little bit quick advice and also some quotes out there. Have you guys to actually think, and hopefully you're doing right by your money, and hopefully you're paying your taxes, because if you're cheating on your taxes, if you're not paying your taxes, they coming for you. Let me tell you. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm your host, Ross World. Everybody have a great night.